Hi, I'm Daily Life. Um, Today's episode, that's better, I should phrase it like that, is about happiness. So that'll be hopefully an interesting one, and it'll hopefully make you look at things differently. Or, oh yeah, I see. Okay, I see what you're getting at. Hopefully, it will reach people that will need a little spark. I mean, I making myself out to be some sort of, I don't know, messiah figure. I don't know, but anyway, if you like what I do here, and if you've got any comments, please leave them in the comments section, and please press like, share, subscribe, do whatever, because it really makes me happy. Okay, right, got some notes. Happiness. These are my opinions. It's very subjective. This is stuff that I've noticed. This is stuff that I've had to put into place in my life. So it's open to interpretation. It might be different for Joe, it might be different for Mary, it might be whoever, but this is just my humble thoughts and rantings. There's a little bit of science which I looked up on the internet because I have to have a bit of backup, and but that's sort of properly right. That's probably another episode. So, happiness. Sometimes I think people can get confused with contentment. Are you happy or are you content? That's a question that I've asked myself a few times. Are they the same thing? Can you have one without the other? Can you be happy and not be content, or can you be content and not be happy? You need to define what happiness is. Sorry, just getting notifications. Um, okay. You need to define what is happiness and what makes you happy. Um, Lots of people, I think, don't know what makes them happy. And it's good to not like have a list and keep it in your wallet saying, oh, this makes me happy. Don't do that because it's subject to change. From my experience, I was I've been in France for a year and a half, working on various different projects. And through that time, since I got into France, stayed with my brother, did my workaways, stayed with my brother, and then came back to England. All of that time, I can say, looking back on it, this is a very wobbly table, so I'll stop chopping at it. I can say that I have been happy. Being productive makes me happy. Being moving forward, not motion wise, not physically moving forward, but sort of on my journey. I have a journey, um, which will be another episode, but moving forward, progressing, changing, being a better person than the person I was yesterday. That makes me happy. I know that's quite existential, but it's little things that make people happy. You don't have to have cured cancer. If you walk past a tramp in the street and you give him a quid, then you can have a little bit of, oh, yeah, I helped a guy out. I got him a hot cup of tea and penguin biscuit or whatever you can get for £1. Um, so yeah, you take your happiness where you can. What people forget is that items don't necessarily make you happy. So you might have all these CDs and you might have all these books, but they don't. You might read them and think, oh yeah, that's good, but they don't necessarily make you happy. You might have nothing. You might have a bag full of clothes and that's it. And you might be happy as a pig in shit. I can't think there's a quote that springs to mind that somebody I met on my workaway said, attachments bring suffering. And so if you're attached to money, you're going to suffer because you're going to spend it, the banks are going to fuck you or whatever, the stock market's going to crash. So your attachment to money will sort of disappear. If you're attached to your fast snazzy car and you write it off, and you're fucked then, aren't you? So yes, you can be, attachment can bring you suffering, which I agreed with to a certain extent when I was in France. But if you are content, and what I believe content means, I'm not looking at a dictionary, is if you have what you need, not what you want. So if you've got a house for your family, you've got a bit of money for food, you've got a job to give you more money, and your children are safe, that that sounds like contentment. That's my version of contentment. If I was in the family, wife, kids house theory. But I think people can be happy with lots of things going on in the background. But some people aren't happy if they haven't got, sorry, I've had bad English. People are happy if they've got something to grumble about. I know loads of people like this. Oh, fucking this, fucking that. They're not happy unless they've got a good moan or a good grumble about something. And I think that's one way to go. But that brings it. I'll circle back to that because there's some ideas of how you can be happy later on. So that's, do you really know what makes you happy? That's something you've got to figure out for yourself. Happy versus sad. That's the next heading I have. You have to have sad. Say you've got two items, happy and you've got a sad. You have to have happy to have sad, and you have to have sad to be happy, because it's a scale, it's a balance. You can't have one without the other. You can't have good without evil. So imagine peaks and troughs. Peaks, happy and sad. Trough. If you go up and go up, you can either continuously go up in happiness, or then you can start on the downside into the trough. But then you can also continuously get sad, but then you can turn it around and then get happy. It's not sustainable being happy or sad all the time. because being happy is almost like a drug fueled state. You need bigger and bigger doses of happiness to get the same thing. This might be different for everybody. This is just what I've noticed. I think it's better to live your life on the plateau. And the plateau is neither being happy nor sad. So then you've got the option to be happy, or you've got the option to be sad. It's the balanced part, instead of going like this. That's it. So yeah, you've got to find that balance, because that's what the universe does. One that I've noticed this particularly in the last 2 years. If you have a string of good luck, or things that make you happy constantly happening, the universe will want to balance that out, so it'll give you a proper rough ride. And I think if you are able to recognize, oh, I'm in a happy bit, so at some point it's going to go badly wrong, it won't be such a shock to you, and you can almost expect it, or account for it, or be ready and handle it better. There's a few techniques I found, excuse me, how to be happy. Exercise is so much to do with being happy, the technical part of being happy. If you take yourself out for a walk every day, if you do a bit of cycling, swimming, whatever, just press ups on your living room floor, your body will release hormones which will turn your mood around. Good balanced diet is also key, because that keeps everything in homeostasis. Homo means man, and stasis means balanced or level. Surrounding yourself with good energy, that is something I've noticed and will almost swear by. If you constantly surround yourself with negative people, hateful people, people who are just generally ball bags, it's going to affect you, and they will leech the happy out of you, because that's what they do. But if you insist on finding happy people, good energy people, and have them in your lives, you will draw the good energy out of them, and it will make you feel 100% better. Going out in the sun, getting the sunlight, the vitamin D or whatever it is, that's important as well. Gives you a funny looking tan. I've got sock lines on my legs. The science bit is, you don't want to necessarily do stuff that makes you happy, or stuff that makes you sad. You want to stabilize your mood, because otherwise you're going to have you're coming up or you're coming down. So if you stabilize your mood, that gives you a better sense of where you are, or a sense of what you're doing. And the thing that stabilizes your mood is called serotonin. There are various things you can do to increase serotonin. I don't know if you can take it in a pill or in oil, or you smoke it. I don't know. People think that the hormone released during a pleasurable experience makes you happy, and it's called dopamine, and this I researched this morning, it's not necessarily the happiness, but the anticipation of reward. So when people go out hunting or fishing or um, cycling Tour de France. Tour de France has just been on the TV. If you think you're in a lead and you're winning, or you're getting a fish on the hook, the dopamine comes because you are fishing and you're out there and you think, oh yeah, yeah, I'm going to get a bite soon. My float's going mad. Oh yeah, that's the anticipation of catching the fish, and that's where the dopamine comes from. Coupled with serotonin, you're going to probably have a great buzz. There's something called motivational salience, which is properly complicated, and I'm not really doing that today. And it propels the individual to objects or outcomes. And so, like going fishing or winning the lottery or having relations with somebody, there's motivational salience in that. But I need to read a bit more on that before I. That's my notes. Yeah, that's a general look at sort of being happy, getting yourself happy, and my subjective views on happiness. Maybe the science was a little bit off, but I don't care. But yeah, if you like this episode, like, share, and subscribe. Any comments are muchly appreciated. And I'll speak to you all another day.